So now I'm gonna talk a little bit about the book that I'm presenting today. It's here. Can be better. It's right here. It's called Alba Nera. And now I will actually tell you how this came to be. My films never start from words. And in this specific case, actually the book came after the film, which is kind of a peculiar process. But since the process is the main thing in my practice, like things never end. I might start from something and then the thing might transform and it might transform into something else. So from Nelson to the film, to the book, and then back into the film. So I have to re-edit and re-put whatever was written in here into the film that you're gonna watch tonight, which by the way is the last one of the old series that they're gonna screen. This book, like you can see, has been printed black on black. Probably you don't see anything on there. It looks like but in a way, it follows like the process of Nelson, because as we collaborate, I tend to listen or at least feel what he's doing and get back in my practice. Sorry. And as you can see in the black painting there, Nelson worked with different shades of black, like comparing one that was marketed as the darkest black in the world, but actually wasn't, because it became the light into the painting. He's gonna talk a little bit more about that later. So the book does the same. It works with black, and also it does another thing. It appears when you put it into the light in a particular angle, which is the other concept that he has in his painting. To be honest, I didn't thought about this in the beginning, but today I realized that it's actually blending the two things perfectly, and I don't know if you agree with me. So it's been made in Italy, all been made by hand, by the only mad person I found that was able to actually print like, you know, lucid black on matte black, because it was chaos to do it, but he did 50 copies, so it's a limited edition. It's been exhibited in Batalha the whole summer. So, like I said, the process for me is kind of the main thing, is not the only thing, because the product as a value, cinema to me as a value, is not just about making film, but it's also about the results that you get. And although I prize intuition to me should be kind of understood as a method, like Bergson would say. It's not just about being in the world and like flowing in the world, but it's also about putting yourself. So you can train yourself as an artist to understand this thing that is the method of intuition. The blue film was our first collaboration. Then we came to the black, and he called me and he told me about the black. As I usually do, I didn't listen fully, so I was like, wow, the black. And then the Platic Lean painting and the thing. So my brain started going in this route, in this read zone. And I'm like, wow. So as my background is in philosophy, the first thing that I thought was not the most profound thought, but maybe the most simple thought. Why is there something rather than nothing? And it's something that even kids can think, but then why is there something rather than nothing? Like, if you let it sink, it's really the simplest question, but it can really sting you, this kind of question. And when I thought of black, then why is there an image? Why is there a moving image at all? Why doesn't an image exist? And black is kind of the color that makes it happen, but also negates the image in itself. In this case, it's black and white. You haven't seen the film, so it's hard now. But later we can have a discussion if you want about it. But Nelson opened me this door to explore this idea on how everything can emerge, but it also can disappear, which is the essence of the image. Like, I know I don't want to go too far, too philosophically deep in this, but philosophers like Nancy speak of the truth of the image as a violent act, because we cannot hide it. Especially on our phone today, we are forced to perceive the picture. When you walk in the street and the billboard, like, they kind of come to you. You can't fight back this when the picture is created. And in the film, a lot of that is happening. The image is appearing and is disappearing. There is this kind of demiurge figure, which in Platonic terms would be the creator of dimensions, of the materiality. But then again, if I have to think of the film today, and the book and everything, I think that this figure is not given in the film. It could be the filmmaker. Am I giving you something? Am I hiding you something? It could be the person in the film that you're gonna see. The main character in the film is also a demiurge figure. Nelson in the film is a demiurge figure. His paintings they're appearing, they're disappearing. You are, like, when you're there, you're viewing. So your gaze upon the screen is making thoughts and things are appearing and disappearing. So this thing is all thanks to Nelson. I would have never done this black, let's call it this black journey. This thing about the image and the picture actually, something we actually talked recently, me and Nelson about it, but it's a dichotomy that really interests me. And although this is poetry, so it's not something that, you do explain usually, but since it's a thing that I already mentioned, like if I take just the beginning, this, in shadows deep, where darkness thrives, a picture void, an image thrives. And this is exactly like, just in the beginning you have this, you have like a picture void. So there is a gap, there is a hole, there is a depth. An image thrives. So the image once comes out, like it's always this kind of fight. This whole black film, black book, everything here is about this emerging and submerging and perceiving and not perceiving, representing, not representing. So we really went to the core of cinema, even without wanting it. It was all an intuitive process. So it was more like, okay, let's see what I can do with the black. Let's see what Nelson is doing in Batalha. We were invited there. We could film inside. And slowly these thoughts came to be. And as I was making the film, then the book was written. And then slowly I said, it could be a voiceover, it could not be a voiceover. But then I just loved that it became a physical object. I've never done it before, and now it's this strange book, which is the process of filmmaking. Filmmaking gave birth to something in words.